Hey, it's Andrew Downs. I'm proud to support Three Beards Media, and I would love to work with you. If you need merchandise for your company, organization, band, softball team, whatever, I can help. From name brand apparel to promotional items, large orders or small, online stores, and more, I can help your brand stand out. AKC Marketing is local, based in Johnston, and we are an employee-owned business, so our costs are low and our turnaround times are fast. But most importantly, we give you personal service to make sure you get exactly what you're looking for. Email me at andrew@akcmarketing.com or find me on social media, and let's make some cool stuff together. Now sit back and enjoy this Three Beards Media podcast.
What's up, everyone? We are live coming at you from the Andrew Downs AKC Marketing Studio, sponsored by Revelton Distilling Company and Green Beret Realty. How's it going, guys?
Great. Glad to be back.
Happy to be here.
Yes.
Yes.
You guys are going to be really sick of each other here about next week.
I already am.
Well, you know, I was thinking that the season is very fastly approaching. Faster, honestly, than Jim's first Christmas this year.
Jim, current events, like, you got a little announcement? I mean, we got another Christmas coming, don't we?
What do you? Oh, yes. That kind of took me a while to think of what you're saying. Yes, my youngest daughter, Lexi, is getting married this August. In fact, they set the date today, August 2nd. So,
congratulations, Lexi.
Yeah.
Congrats. That's
absolutely
awesome. Good for
Very
her.
excited. Yeah.
Also, in other current news,
I am using new equipment. Yes, I am. Not going to tell you when I got it set up, but yes.
Yeah, Ben, you've got definitely some exciting news also, right, Ben?
Yeah, I do. So today is National Signing Day, and pretty cool day for us. My daughter Neela is going to play Division I softball at UNI. So here's a little picture of our signing day deal, and
go Neela.
So,
go Panthers.
Go Panthers. Pretty exciting. I was looking back through some stuff today, and she started in 2014. She was 6 years old playing softball. So,
wow.
Yep. So cool day.
How many softball practices, games, tournaments do you think you went to between 2014 and now, Ben? If you just had to guess.
Oh, man. Well,
all of them.
That's it. Yeah. 10 years and got to be over 100 a year, right? I mean, yeah.
I was a Mark Club.
I don't do math daily, but it seems like a lot.
Yeah, why would you?
You just count the money as it comes in. That's about it.
I try. So,
well, good. That's great news for both of you guys.
That is awesome.
I don't have anything that exciting to share, so I'm glad you two had something.
Nothing about the boys?
No, not really.
Basketball starting.
Yeah, basketball starting. They put a hole in the drywall the other night, so patch and drywall holes, and that's name of the game at our house. So
Can you imagine? Like, I grew up with 5 brothers, 6 of us, no girls, and we didn't put any holes in the drywall because there wasn't any then. It was plaster walls, and we cracked quite a few. So, but yeah, crazy.
Did you mean to show your age, Jim?
You guys all know. I mean, just look at me. I'm not a day over 42.
We try not to, but whatever.
So, Jim, I was surfing YouTube TV the other day, and all these Christmas movies came up, and there was one called Four Christmases, and I thought of you because I was like, 4 Christmases. Wow, that's only a quarter of what Jim has every year.
It's so not true.
It is. Hey, Jim, could you possibly work this night? Got a Christmas. How about this night? Christmas. How about then? You're not gonna believe this. Christmas.
Okay, enough about that. Thanksgiving, though, I'm gonna have a couple of those, just so you know.
Probably as many of those as Christmases.
No, I can't do it. I can't eat that much.
All right. Well, hey, let's recap last episode we had. It's been a minute, but we had Travis Graven, producer, director, and on-air talent at Iowa PBS, also a great high school official. It was good to have him on.
Yes,
sure.
Travis, great guy.
Yep, for sure.
I especially enjoyed the Iowa State Fair food talk.
Mm-hmm.
And the best part about the officiating discussion was his suggestion to have parents officiate a game or a scrimmage or something and let us officials be in the crowd for that.
I'd love that.
I'm in on that for sure.
I am too. I'd love it.
Yep, for sure. So good stuff. We were down. We're going to be in Meltzer, Dallas here shortly. We'll talk about that soon, Jim. But
by the way,
we were down there.
Beautiful.
It is, and we were down there a little while ago, filming a promo. So we're going to play that real quick. Hopefully, everybody's seen it, but we're going to play it again. A little bit of fun we had down in the Meltzer, Dallas gym. So here we go. Maybe.
Oh my God, that's the worst call I've ever seen. What is your guys' problem? Does your mother not love you enough?
Yeah, maybe it was bad, but I've heard enough out of you. You're gone.
Oh my God, that call was absolutely terrible. Are you guys consciously trying to be this bad? I mean, does your mom not love you?
Have you seen how old my partner is? My back hurts already from carrying him all night, and I've heard enough out of you. So you're gone.
Are you crazy? That's the worst call I've ever seen in my entire life. Are you cautiously trying to be this bad? Are you drunk, high, or are you just stupid? Like, does your mom love you?
Have you seen how old my partner is? My back hurts already from carrying him. Okay? I've heard enough. You're gone.
You're a terrible ref. Do you even get paid for this job?
Where is your dad? Oh, wait. You're grounded.
Fine. Hey, I was up in the stands. You know you got a bald spot on the back of your head?
I know your parents. Get the heck out of here. You're gone.
Okay. Hey, Grandpa, isn't there an age limit for this job?
Listen, Pipsqueak, I have to work with your dad all the time, so what do you want from me? No more of you. You're gone!
Hey, we're the Three Blind Refs. We hope you join us every other Wednesday
on the Three Beards Media Network.
Oh, God, that was fun.
That was fun. I didn't even know I had a bald spot till that day.
Oh, whatever.
Jim, I got to tell you, the whole ride home, Carson kept cracking up about you called him a pipsqueak.
He probably never heard of it before.
No, he thought that was super funny.
I also thought it was fantastic when he called him Grandpa.
Yeah. And for all of you out there,
well,
he calls me Grandpa all the time.
Yeah, you're Grandpa Jim and Uncle Ben to my boys. That's just the way it is. It just rolls off their tongue now.
Yeah, yep. I'm okay with that.
Love it. Love it.
That was
Better,
All right.
better than what most
You-
people call us in the crowd. So,
yeah.
Especially you.
oh, shots fired.
We better get into some officiating here before this gets away from
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
we probably
let's
better.
do it. Let's do
Jim,
it.
are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
They fooled me, Jerry.
I
Love
love
that
that.
introduction. So we have two major ones that we're going to talk about. I believe is there only two that we're going to talk about tonight?
I
I mean,
had like 4 on here, but we'll
okay.
see.
You're
Well,
the oldest, Jim, so you're the boss.
So I'm going to go with the first one. I think that's going to be the easiest one, and I think it's going to be the best one, is the elimination of the 5-second count in the front court while the ball handler is dribbling the ball.
Yes.
So
thank
you'll no
you.
longer see us counting while they are while they are dribbling the ball in the front court. Since we have the 35-second shot clock, in the pre-shot clock era, if you had a good dribbler and he could dribble around quite a bit, pass the ball, give it back to him, he could dribble, but with this, and we had to have the 5-second closely guarded count, so that didn't happen. So we couldn't just dribble out, a quarter. Now with the 35-second shot clock, that's gone. It's eliminated. So we don't have. That's one more thing that we don't have to concern ourselves with. If he or she is holding the ball in the front court, we will have a 5-second count. So that one I think is pretty easy.
Mhm.
You guys got anything you want to add on that?
I would just say it's very well received, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, it's like I said, with the shot clock, 35 seconds, you can't waste a whole lot of time dribbling the ball. You're looking to score anyway. So I think that was a good elimination of the rule, and I think it's been eliminated in college for quite a while now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I think, based on comments I heard last year, they were kind of surprised. A lot of coaches were kind of surprised that we didn't do that right out of the gate. So,
yeah.
But that's fine. We kind of had to adjust, to the shot clock, and now we can start adding some things like that. And maybe somewhere down the road, we'll get a reset or half reset on a kick or something like that too. But.
Okay. Yeah. So, and then probably the biggest rule change that we're going to have this year, we'll see how it goes. It's kind of interesting, is faking being fouled, or what a lot of us talk about as flopping. Okay, so we have the definition right there up on there. Faking being fouled includes a warning first. We have a warning on the team that has whoever has faked the foul. The second and all subsequent faking being fouled is going to be a team technical. So this is going to be new because it's going to maybe be a little bit tough to begin with, because we want to make sure we have to make sure, was there contact? Was the contact illegal? So this before sometimes was given a warning. You could give a technical right away on the basketball player themselves. Now it eliminates this, and it's kind of less egregious on the player themselves. So we have a team warning, and the good thing about the team warning is officials are taking care of it quickly. We go to the coach and we report that we have a warning for faking being fouled, so they can discuss that with their players and hopefully eliminate it. And we go to the book, and there will be a new section on the score sheet for faking being fouled on there. And then again, if we have it again during the game, and every time we have it happen, we now have a team technical. The opposing team will have 2 shots and take the ball out at half court. So here is defensive player faking being fouled. This came from a video that Todd Tharp sent out. I thought the 2 things here were very good, because what do you do after you call it? So if we have the defensive player faking being fouled, we're going to withhold the whistle. So we're going to have a delay until the offensive team scores, which could include repeated attempts at a basket. So offensive teams driving to the hoop, defensive player foul or fakes being fouled like he was like a charge. we're going to let it go until they make the basket. If they get a rebound, they get a chance to shoot again. And until they don't have any more attempts, if the defense gets the ball or it goes out of bounds, we're not going to stop that play. Once we do stop it, even if the goal is scored, the opponents are ordered to throw in. So the team that actually did the faking being fouled, they're going to get the ball. We're going to give a team warning. They're going to be able to move along the end line for a throw in, just like we have it. So it's point of interruption. The POI, play is resumed. That's from the point of interruption. So where we interrupted that play at, that's where we're going to take the ball out. And again, if it's a made basket, they're going to get a run the end line. If the offense had to happen to tip it out of bounds on a rebound, defense is going to get it at the spot it went out of bounds. Okay. So, and it says, or until the offending team gains control of the ball or the ball becomes dead, which is if we don't have a goal scored, if the ball was in the offending team's front court when play was stopped, the throw in from the nearest of the 4 designated front court throw in spots. Okay. If the ball was in the offending team's back court, the throw in spot from the nearest spot. So again, I don't know that I see this happening a lot, but it's kind of nice that I think that you're going to see that get called earlier if it happens. I don't think we're going to be looking for it, but if it happens, I think it's going to get called earlier in a game than it ever has before, because I think officials have kind of sometimes ignored it or sometimes right off the bat bang a technical. So you're going to give the team warning. Everybody's going to know that, hey, we're watching it. We've seen it. Don't do it again.
Do you want to see the offensive side of this?
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the offensive side because it's a little bit different. So if we have a ball handler, we're going to, boy, did I not get I didn't give you the right one on that one. Is that the, or
maybe yeah,
Just-
I don't
just-
have it then.
Just make it up, Jim.
Okay, so offensive player. If the offensive player is fakes being fouled, if they have an attempt for a shot, we have example shooting the ball. They get fouled in the act of, or they fake being fouled in the act of shooting. Ball goes in the hoop. From my understanding, because I was looking at basket counts. We have a team warning. And then the ball will go out of bounds at the end line. Defense gets to run it. Okay? Correct on that. Is that right? Just want to make sure that we're getting that.
The
Sounds
basket,
right.
the basket does count though.
Yes. I gave him the wrong slide. I wish I would.
Yeah, you did. I'm blaming you. Which new?
Well, and let me see if I can. I don't want to mess things up here, but I thought maybe I could take a look at
green here, maybe, but
on my end here. Okay, offensive player faking being fouled. So the ball handler. If it's the ball handler, we're stopping immediately. Play is resumed. Point of interruption. Okay, so we're not on the shooter yet. So just a ball handler, he has not shot the ball. If he fakes being fouled, head bob, whatever, like somebody ran into him, he is going, and we're going to stop it immediately. We go to point of interruption. If it's in the front court, it goes to one of the 4 nearest spots. If it's in the back court, we go to the nearest throw-in spot from there. Okay? So, shooter, if the try is successful, again, it's immediately. Point of interruption, the opponents are awarded a throw-in with the privilege of moving along the end line. So it doesn't say it there, but if they're going to move along the end line, basket's made, it's going to be, try's going to be successful.
Yep.
And they're going to get the points.
Yep.
If it's unsuccessful, it's immediately stopped, no matter who gets the rebound. We don't even worry about the rebound. If it is, as soon as it is missed, we go to the alternating possession arrow. Okay, so the shooting
because we don't have control when the shot is in the air.
Right, we have no team control when the shot is in the air. So we see that it's unsuccessful. We're going to blow the whistle. It's going to be an alternating possession. If the shooting team is awarded the throw in, it's from the nearest of the 4 designated front court throw in spots. If it's the defensive team that is awarded on the throw-in, it is the backcourt throw-in from the spot nearest to where the infraction occurred. Okay. I wanted to get rid of that.
Chris Marzen moved to North Carolina, friend of the program, had his first flop call tonight.
Oh, awesome. Had the first one. Here he goes. All right. So, anything, guys, that you want to add to that?
Here's my take on this whole thing, I guess. I feel like over my career, I maybe see a flop once or twice a season. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That I would call egregious enough where I'm doing something about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say it's generally one of two things. We have a dribbler coming down the floor and somebody falls to the floor before the dribbler even makes contact or something like that. Blow on him and he's down on the floor. A lot of times in that scenario, I'm just going to say, don't flop. I make sure and talk to that kid. Don't flop. Next one's a technical foul. And usually they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
If I have a similar situation where maybe the contact comes and again, there's not much, there is contact, but not enough to, be a foul, an offensive foul or anything like that. I'm probably going to go block. And that's going to stop that kid too, because if he understands that if next time he tries to do that, it's going to be a foul. So those are kind of what I have used in the past, because this has always been in the book. It's just now we're adding that warning piece. My concern is that we're going to use it to some officials may use it to bail out block charge type calls.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I hope that we continue our focus on the block charge call, which is hard enough in the way it is. And we only use this when we really are forced to use it. I guess that would be my take on it.
I agreed. And I like to say, yeah, we talk about 1 or 2 times a year, maybe. So I think the thing that they wanted to do was not make it a technical on the player. And I think they wanted to make sure we had a warning first, no matter what, just to let the coach have a talk with his team so it doesn't happen again. So, we kind of avoiding that. We don't like to hand out technicals, but so I think that's maybe some of the reasons why they did it. So it's not as much of a penalty on the player itself, but it is on the team.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I got a comment I want to put up here. Jamie Smith, coach over at Solon. What constitutes a ball handler faking?
Yeah, I would say what Jim just did.
Head bob is one of the things to talk about. You got him dribbling down the lane, guys playing good defense on him, and all of a sudden he kind of like backs away with a head bob. Like he did get some contact, and there was no illegal contact. I think that would be one of them. Or
I could see where reaching in, somebody goes for a steal, no contact at all, and I could see an offensive player, doing that type of thing as well. I mean, those would probably be something I'd consider a ball handler faking.
Yeah, I agree.
Good question, Jamie.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Any other thoughts on that one?
I don't think so. I'm hoping that this is for one, basketball coaches should be discussing this in their preseason practices, at least to let them know, hey, we don't want any team technicals on this. Again, on that team technical too, it is not the coach does not lose their privilege to stand in the coaching box. So just so we know that. No, I think that's about it. Anybody got anything else on that one?
No, like I said, I hope we don't have to use that much at all. I think it's an overreaction to things that we see maybe in the NBA quite a bit.
Yeah.
So,
So I think I didn't look a lot on this. I know. I mean, I actually saw it on the clinics, but I was just thinking of the two, and then I see that we have, first of all, the basket interference. From what I remember, it is a player is allowed to touch only the net while the ball is on or within the basket, provided that in the official's judgment, the net contact does not affect the ball, allowing play to continue. If a player contacts the net, impacts the path of the ball, basket interference should be called. So it was any time previously, you smack the net, go up and hit the net while the ball was in the cylinder on the rim, it's automatic basket interference. So
a lot of times that would happen on a block attempt, basically. Especially if we have like a driving layup, somebody from behind tries to block that and they hit the net, and so yeah. And I think, it's just, if it doesn't affect the shot, then we're not calling it. And, for the most part, usually those baskets go in anyway. And I think it's another thing to speed the game along a little bit too. So we don't have that have to make the call and all that stuff. So that one I think is pretty simple. So okay. I don't think that's going to be a big deal. Agree. It's just one of those things I thought we ought to bring up so that somebody in the crowd is yelling, well, I touched the net. Yeah, it didn't affect the shot.
Can we, as they yell that, can we just give them a thumbs up, say, yep, you sure did, move on.
You got it.
Good job, buddy. You got the call.
Heard you, mister.
So, let's see, what do we have? Warning for delay. A new 5th delay warning has been added to address when a player fails to immediately pass the ball to the near official when a whistle sounds.
You know what this is, don't you?
Is this the Caitlin Clark?
This is the Caitlin Clark rule.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I thought the same thing when it went over it in the rules meeting in the clinic and that. Yeah.
Yep. So it's one of those that we add to the other warnings for delay: the throw-in plane violation, delaying a free throw. This one probably happens the most: interfering with the ball following a goal. Somebody makes a basket and their teammate pushes it away, so that slows the game down. And then having water, not being ready, coming out of a timeout. So this adds to that.
Yeah.
And each one of those, the first one's a warning, the second one of any of those is a technical foul. So
yep. And just for people, when we look at that throw-in plane violation, just so you know, when someone is taking the ball out of bounds from the out of bounds area, from the out of bounds line to the ceiling is the plane. If you reach through it, that's a delay. If the defense reaches through it, it's a delay. So that's what a throw-in plane violation is.
All right, let's take that one step further, because we do see this from time to time. What if they contact the ball?
Should be a technical.
Correct. What if they contact the thrower?
We have is it an intentional foul? Why am I? Yes, intentional foul. Yeah, that's what I said, didn't I? Good job.
Yes, you did. Good job, Jim.
Yes, thanks.
Sam had no idea.
No,
yes,
we would have had it.
You didn't call on me. I had my hand up.
We'd have had to get together and discuss that with Sam in the middle of the court.
I would have already called it. You would have been at your 12th Christmas already.
Those are two tricky ones that sometimes happen near the end of games, though, when you have a lot of things going on. So just keep that in mind for everybody out there. But, halftime, then we'll have our guest. Word from our sponsor.
Making great tasting bourbon requires the perfect combination of ingredients, conditions, and time. The longer it rests, the better it tastes. Revelton Distillery's new single barrel bourbon is made from 80% corn, sourced 100% from Iowa farmers. And unlike mass-produced bourbons, each barrel of Revelton's single barrel bourbon is unique, proofed on when it tastes best. As they like to say, it'll be ready when it's ready. And to ensure the highest standards of quality and flavor, owners Rob and Christy Taylor oversee the production and bottling. Every single barrel. Iowa born, Iowa aged, Iowa bottled. Try the new single barrel bourbon from Iowa's own Revelton Distillery. ReveltonDistillery.com. energy meets precision, anything is possible.
I'm Carter Hawley, the Chief Energy Officer of the Iowa State Cyclones. I'm full of energy on and off the court, but nothing gives me more energy than helping families find their dream home. And that's where Green Beret Realty comes in. They're more than just realtors. They're a team dedicated to getting things right for you and your family, just like we get it right on the court.
No basket. Fouls on the floor before the shot. Out of bounds.
Come on! Can you believe that? You can't take that away from me.
That call was absolutely terrible. Are you guys cautiously trying to be this bad? I mean, does your mom not love you?
Have you seen how old my partner is? My back hurts already from carrying him all night. And I've heard enough out of you.
So you're gone. Fine.
Jim, are you blind? Basket's good. We've got a three-pointer. Sometimes it takes a team to get the call right. And when you're buying a home, you want a team that makes all the right calls. That is Green Beret Realty. And here's the best part. When you buy or sell a home through Dan at Green Beret Realty and mention this ad, he'll make a donation to the We Will Collective, helping student athletes like me thrive on and off the court.
That call's so easy, even we can make it.
Green Beret Realty, because getting the call right means everything.
Oh, Jim, you standing in the back, you look blind. Actually,
I know. I played the part, didn't I?
Hey, whose idea was it for sunglasses? Come on, man, that made it.
It was Sammy's.
It was
good. It was good. Fun.
Well, let's get to our guest here. Jim, do you want to introduce our guest?
Oh, absolutely. And our guest tonight is going to be Joe Segrest from Norwalk Girls Basketball. Hey, Joe, we are grateful for you that you're with us tonight.
So grateful.
You know, I couldn't be happier to be with you guys tonight.
Oh, my goodness. What a start.
Oh, I hope your assistant coaches are laughing right now.
Did you all enjoy the day?
Yes.
Good.
Oh.
Thank you for asking, Joe.
You're welcome.
Hey, real quick before we kind of get into stuff, congratulations to you too. You had some good family news today too. So go ahead and share that, Joe.
Oh, thanks, Ben. Yeah, I mean, proud dad moment, proud family moment with my son Grady. Signed on to play golf at DMAC next year. So
awesome. Congrats.
Coach,
that's good stuff.
Yeah,
that is.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Cool.
Thank you.
Can he beat you in a round of golf?
Yeah, my days of beating him, I think, are over. They happened about a year and a half ago, Sam. So it's I tried to get him a couple times. I was within a couple strokes, but it's not happening much.
Nice. Well, Joe, we this is our second attempt to have a discussion with you. If our listeners remember, you know, we had you on at the state tournament, and you know, for some reason, you know, we tried out the microphones and stuff like 10 minutes before we went on air, and it didn't really go very well. So nobody could really hear you. So we wanted to have you back, and
that's probably a good thing.
Ben bought him on the TikTok shop, though.
It's fine. This is fine. So, you know, we wanted to get you back on here, and we'll kind of discuss quite a few different things here, but appreciate your time. And I guess, you know, first thing for our listeners is just kind of tell us how you got to be a coach, a basketball coach, I guess. Give us a little bit of history lesson here about Joe Segrest.
Well, I knew it was what I wanted to do back in high school when I probably wasn't the best player. You know, I was a contributor on the basketball floor, could knock down some threes, but just really was always a student of the game. and studied it, enjoyed the film and scouting part of it. So I knew that's what I wanted to do as I finished up high school, and then went on to play a year of basketball at the NAIA level, 4 years of baseball. So enjoyed that time, just loved being a part of a team from the time when I was, 4 or 5 years old. I remember back to my Y days when we just, rotate from sport to sport, playing basketball and then baseball. And I grew up loving both of those sports. So knew I wanted to be a coach early. And then really on the girls' side, Brad Rose over there at Valley gave me an opportunity about 13 years ago to be the head coach there. That's where I figured out that I thought, this is my niche. This is what I was supposed to do. And now talk about 13 years later, I love the team that I'm coaching right now. They're a group of girls that just come in every day wanting to get better. And to me, that's what it's all about. You want to come in each and every day and see the group of people that you're trying to rally together be the best that it can be. And that's what keeps me going. And that's what I love about my job.
So did you coach prior to coming to Valley?
I did. My first coaching job was out in Rio Rico, Arizona, a guy by the name of John Fanning. I grew up in Ohio. John Fanning was a principal and head basketball coach there at Rio Rico High School, real close to the Mexico border, Nogales. And he said, Joe, he actually called me on the golf course as I graduated in Ohio there, Northeast Ohio, and said, I need an assistant boys basketball coach, and I'm becoming a principal, so I have to give it up after this year. So if you come out and everything goes well, I'm pretty much telling you can be the head boys coach next year. And I'm like, wow, that's everything I want to do, Well, it was too early for me to do that, but I got my feet wet anyway learned a lot from him that first year. And then the next 2 years, I was the head coach there at, 24, 25 years old. And, but just invaluable experience, just learning about people and coaching and then, met my wife out there. Jen is from Granger, Iowa, played at Woodward Granger and then on at William Penn. She played 4 years there. So she grew up with basketball, loved basketball too. So we moved back here to be near her family and had to work my way up at Valley. Jeff Horner hired me on his boys staff to be the sophomore coach first back in 2008 or 9. And then in 2012, I became the head girls coach.
Nice. So you had just a little bit of talent at Valley over the year. How many years were you there?
10.
So just a little bit of talent. You have your rings on?
I don't, but they might be kind of close.
2 championships, Joe?
Yeah.
So, yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'd like to put an N on one of these this year.
Nice. That'd be great. So I was looking back. I keep a spreadsheet of all our games. And the first time I met you was January 10th of 2015. We had that Xavier game at Valley. I think that's the first time we met. And then a little bit of history with one of those rings was my first championship, I believe. Second. And that's when we kind of got to know each other pretty well. There was a call that maybe you and I disagreed on, but and we certainly don't talk about it or joke about it at all. But I remember after the kind of near the end of the game, you guys were up and I think I came over and said, "Hey, congrats, awesome job." And I don't know, we just kind of have been friends since then, I guess. You know what I mean? So that was a fun moment for me, and obviously for you too. So.
Well, I'll never forget that night either, and you coming up and saying that, even though I was giving you a hard time. Hannah Fuller deserved that third charge, but
she did.
No,
she
and
did.
Then we got to wipe the floor off with those towels, and we actually kind of have a similar theme this year with our Norwalk girls. But that was a special night. I think back to that 2015 season when I did meet you for the first time, and I was hoping that team, which lost in the state finals, was our first state championship team. So you're right. I had some amazing talent. I think 5 girls sent off to play Division I basketball in that time, and countless others playing D2, D3, NAIA ball. But just, that family aspect of it, and go back to, the interaction you and I had, and now I've, gotten to know Jim and Sam. I just have a very high respect for what you guys do on the basketball floor too. I said it, when you invited me back on the show, that, in a sport where girls, we struggle with numbers in girls basketball, we need to continue to work together, coaches, officials, parents, community members, to grow the game. And we can't do that if we're not partners in it. And I completely view myself as someone that wants to grow the game and be beside you guys in this great podcast that you're doing to do that. And so I appreciate the work that you guys do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Yeah.
So there's like 3 tangents there that I want to get to, and one of them is relationships, and one of them is the numbers in girls basketball. But let's focus for a second on after Valley. What happened and how you got to Norwalk, because I think Norwalk is a really important piece of your career as well, and hopefully going to be an even bigger piece. So.
Yeah, so my last year at Valley, 2018 to 2020 season, 21. Grady was a freshman, and he was suiting varsity basketball. And, I tried my best to coach the girls at Valley, and on home games, I could maybe get there for second half of the JV game that he was starting and playing in. And it just, as much as I loved those girls at Valley and the job I had, it wasn't worth missing family time and missing my kids playing a high school sport. So I made the decision after his freshman year 3 years ago to give up my position there that I did love so much, and just come to Norwalk and not know what my coaching future held. But I really enjoyed, Coach Pelzer brought me on the boys staff as a volunteer in that transition year, 2022. And then,
by the way, he's our favorite Pelzer.
There's no doubt about that.
Right.
Yeah, there's also the better looking one.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah, is Casey watching?
Oh, I'm sure.
So I had a great year, learned a lot there, got to be a part of my son's team as a sophomore. And then, that spring, the girls' job became available, and it was just, Mr. Toby, Josh Toby over there does an awesome job as our athletic director. Gave me the opportunity, and it was something I couldn't pass up because I could coach the girls, do something that I feel like I was kind of born to do. And then still watch the boys and watch my son play as a dad after coaching and doing something I love so much.
Awesome.
Nice.
That's good stuff. And will Drake, does he play basketball? Will he be coming eventually?
Yeah, he's in the same sports that Grady is, golf and basketball. So I got to coach him on the freshman golf team. I'm actually an assistant on the golf team with our numbers growing so much. We're not hurting with boys golf numbers at the 4A level at Norwalk, but so I got to do that, and then he'll play freshman basketball this year too. He's a freshman.
Nice.
So.
Awesome. Good stuff.
Hey, what's the biggest difference that you see coaching boys versus coaching girls in basketball, any other sport, but just, I know you've coached both. What's the biggest difference?
I have never coached them much differently.
Okay.
You maybe have to, work on the relationship side a little bit more with the girls, but anymore, I think you need to do that on the boys' side too. And I've always been a big relationship, person, and want my players to know that I care about them before I can get on them on the court for doing something that I want to see, done better.
Yeah.
And so just loving your players, showing them that you care. But I would say I learned that the harder way. I was always coached growing up pretty tough, coaches that I respect and loved a lot myself, but they were hard-nosed, get after you type coaches. And I thought I had to do that, my first few years. I made that mistake in Arizona. And as, times changed and families changed a little bit and evolved, I thought, there's a way to get my message across and still be strict, be tough. And so I think that's the biggest thing I've learned over the years.
Good. Nice. I just was asking that because I think the one takeaway that I always had because I coached football, coached boys basketball 1 year, coached girls basketball for about 7, coached softball also, is that I always thought the one thing different from girls, not in actually the way I coached them, but was that the girls seemed to be more eager to listen and take on whatever you want them to. Sometimes the boys, they think they know a little bit more than what they really do. And I think that sometimes the girls, like I said, I just think they're more eager. They take what you're giving them, I think, better than the boys do. And that's not a knock on the boys because, some of the boys, they've had some good coaching and that coming up and that. But I just, that's the one thing I always noticed. Again, I didn't coach any of my girls' teams any less hard than I did my boys' teams. It was, but you're right. Relationships are huge in anything. That in education and that. I mean, it's, that's just, the kids have to know, the old saying, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So,
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Joe, so relationships was one thing that I kind of had on my list to come back to. And so let's just kind of continue on that. I think, the reason that we get along so well is because you're good at communicating and I feel like we're good at communicating. And I think that goes hand in hand and really, I think it's been beneficial to both us as a crew and probably you and your coaching staff is you can send stuff to me and I can give you my input on it, whether it's a clip or a question or whatever, or we might discuss it if it's something weird with the crew. And likewise, if you've got something you're like, we don't like how this is done or we don't like how that is done, like it's a good back and forth, I think, to have those relationships between coaches and officials. I mean, sure, there's going to be times when we step on the court, you're a professional and we're a professional, and we're there to do our job, and you're there to do yours. And we might get a little bit heated, but at the end of the day, we respect the heck out of what each other's doing. And I think officials and coaches can both learn from that if you have a healthy respect and relationship, you can learn from each other and I think make the game better.
That's exactly right. I mean, like I talked about earlier, respecting what one another do, and that your job is no less important than my job, and the way you interact with my players, our players, is, shows me right away what kind of official you are or what kind of crew you are. And it is. When you have a mutual respect for one another and try to work on a relationship, it's going to help us have more officials and bring more, I know you guys are, two of you at least might be toward the end of your careers. And it makes me sad to see that, because we're going to lose two really good officials. And then, what's Sam going to do without the old guys?
Yeah, it's not going to be good. I can tell you that right
you'll
now.
be just fine.
I won't look as fast
or as young.
Yeah. No, but I mean, we have fun. You have to love what you're doing, and you guys show passion in what you do. That's why you're at the state tournament every year. And if we show that mutual respect on our end, it's only going to help the game.
Yep. I remember this past season, Joe, you probably remember this, but Joe and I had a breakthrough moment where we finally got this. Okay, we're in this together, and it was at Oskaloosa. Do you remember that, Joe?
Vaguely, yeah.
So I was at lead, and there was a hot pass coming right towards me.
Yes.
Came right towards you, almost hit me, and it was barely tipped by a Norwalk girl.
Yeah.
And I said, we're still going this way. Well, Joe didn't agree, and that was fine. And at the next dead ball, I think you asked your player, did you touch that ball? And she said, yeah, I did. So Joe could.
And I apologize to
yes,
you. Right?
I was going to say.
Leave that part. Now I remember.
No, I was going to say Joe could have totally just let it go, not said anything. But another dead ball, he brought me over and said, hey, I asked her if she touched it. She did. Want to apologize. So it's just like communicating like that I think is really important, and just the mutual respect.
Yeah, because I know I can be really intense on the sidelines too. But I
travel.
But I don't want that to ever be a negative, reflection of what you're doing. Right. And so I'm passionate, I'm fiery at times, but I still respect the hell out of what you guys do.
That's what, one thing that I think there are some officials that don't understand. I know that both Ben and Sam and we've all coached at some point or the other. And some officials that don't understand that, man, you're going to be intense during the game because you have spent numerous hours getting to where you're at with your team. And, so sometimes you have to understand that, you're going to be a little intense. When it gets over the line, it's easy enough to just say, hey, coach, I hear you, but that's enough, And, but I think they've got to understand that, it's, that basketball time that you're doing basketball, that's your livelihood right there. And we all have to, respect each other. We talked about this, we get along very well, but I think we all know that when us three get on the court to do one of your games that, we're going to do our job and you're going to do your job. And that's, just the way it goes. It has nothing to do with, we're not going to give Joe any calls because we know him. And he knows that walking on the floor. We're gonna call the game like we call every game, and we get done. And after the game, we'll talk about whatever we think we need to talk about. But that's the way things ought to be. And you're right. That's the one thing that is going to help get more officials. We get some young kids that come in at 23, 24, and maybe aren't ready to do some of the games that they're getting, but shortage of officials, they have to. And then they're getting to the point where $130 to $150 just isn't worth me getting my butt chewed all game long. And so I think we have to do a much better job of that. And I think that I'm hoping that, at some point when I get done with this after this season, that, I hope that I can have some type of, my goal is to help recruit officials and try to expand the game a little bit in that aspect, because I'll be honest, we talked about it. Nobody's really doing that much with officials. If I don't know if you two guys, I don't know if it just came to athletic or came to officials, the list of assignments that Joel had that didn't have covered. I mean, you know, I was showing people at the AD meeting today, the Bluegrass AD meeting, and I'm scrolling on the email page, and it is just tons of them. So
yeah,
the only way we're going to figure this out is, again, to have some mutual respect for each other and help each other out.
And that's a great point, Jim. I hope, you know, when you and Ben do decide to hang up your whistle, that you go and be someone that can help young officials and help that respect between coaches and officials, you know, bring those two together and keep those young officials out on the court, because we need them. And I've heard about, you know, the shortage and how many games are left unfilled, and probably going to have to move you know, games to different nights and not just have our Tuesday, Friday night games. I mean, so there are things that we can all do, you know, whether you're talking about coaches, you know, officials, you know, retiring officials, you know, to help the game grow, be better. And it all starts with that, going back to that relationship and mutual respect.
Agree, 100%.
I think another piece of that we haven't talked about too is parents and fans. And, you know, the great Scotty Giles always said, what you permit, you promote. And so we love a coach or a coaching staff that isn't writing us the whole game, because a lot of times if you're writing us the whole game or stomping your feet or whatever, your crowd sees that, right? And they're going to kind of echo the same thing that you're doing. So I feel like in a situation like your crowds are good because you're pretty much behaved the whole time, right? So I think coaches can help their fans as well. I've spoke at you know, a preseason meeting at like Earlham with Kevin Williamson. He invited me one time to talk about rules and let the parents ask me whatever they wanted to. And unfortunately, like, they were scared, like they didn't want to ask any questions. And I'm like, man, now is your time to ask me anything, you know? So I know you talk to your girls a lot about the rules and how to deal with officials and stuff, but, you know, parents, I think, is another step where we can improve on communicating our expectations with them. So,
right. Good point.
All right, let's talk a little bit about rules. What is your take on the new rules this year? And maybe we even need to back up. Shot clock, I'm assuming you enjoyed as a coach.
Yeah, we have an internal, you know, 10, 12-second shot clock anyways. So we want a quicker shot, a good shot, but love that.
And did you enjoy the elimination of the 1-and-1 and just go to the 2 free throws at 5?
Yes.
Okay. So I think we kind of talked about this earlier, the elimination of the closely guarded count while dribbling. I think it just makes sense with the 35-second clock, don't you?
Right. You guys don't need something else to, you know, you don't always need to be doing that. I mean, you got
that looked like Jim.
Must have been pretty good.
Yeah, I don't want to see Jim doing this. You know, like he's Sir Mix-a-Lot, right? But you've got enough to worry about. It's 3 of you. There's 10 players and 2 screaming coaches. Hopefully not me, but you know, you've got a lot to worry about and officiate. That's a great rule to get rid of. Talked to my girls about it today. You know, we don't really want to sit there and dribble unless, you know, it's late in the shot clock or late in a quarter in a situation where we're up. But it's something we can work on, and we will work on in our situational work, and it's a good rule.
Okay, so what have you talked about with your team about the flopping?
What I always coach, you know, you should never fake a foul. You know, if you take absorb the contact, take the charge, fall back like you normally do. You know, I don't think you see it as much on the girls' side. I think I watched your segment earlier, and I think it's coming from the high college and NBA game, and it's a trickle down effect. And now we have to kind of absorb that too. But so you might see it a couple times, but I just said, don't fake anything. Just go out there and play. And if you draw contact, go down like you would any charge. If you don't fake it, because your team is, at the mercy of officials that might call that.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk about this upcoming season. Well, first off, you had sent us a link today to Jeff Linder out at the Cedar Rapids Gazette, and he was posting on Twitter asking everybody what their numbers were like in girls basketball this year. And it was pretty crazy to see kind of the highs and lows, and I would say it was mostly lows. And I think there was some good, feedback on there about what that is and whatnot. But, are you seeing that? Have you guys seen that in Norwalk, or do you have pretty good numbers, or what do you think's contributing to that?
Well, when I took over two springs ago, there were 8 girls in the program. So it was in a rough spot. Last year we had 14, and I told Jeff, that this year we have 19. So it's growing at a little, but then I looked back at those numbers too, and we're probably right in the middle as far as our 9 through 12 grade numbers. And we've still got work to do. We've got to do everything we can to promote, multi-sport athletes in an age that's a lot tougher. We have, families and kids that want to be great at one sport. And if you do, and you want to go to the next level, then those elite players are being pulled by club teams at an alarming rate. So basketball takes the biggest hit with that, I think, because of how much skill it takes, the length of the season, how taxing it is on your body. Just it has a lot of variables that might go against it. Makes it a pretty tough sport to stick with if you're not truly passionate about it. So
sure.
Got some things to continue to look at and work on there.
So what's the team look like this year, Joe? Give us your Norwalk spiel here.
Well, 3 days in, super happy with our effort and the attitudes of the girls. Had them over for team dinner last week to kind of kick off the season, and they're just a special group. And I was kind of thinking about that on my drive home from conferences at parent-teacher conferences tonight after practice. But that's a good time for me to kind of reflect, even though it's a short drive now, and just how coachable our girls are. And we've got a lot of talent to go with it. We returned the leading scorer in all of the state last year in Bailey Birmingham. And, she signed her national letter of intent today to play at Northwest Missouri State. So we're super proud of her.
Is she a fifth-year senior? She seems like she's been around forever.
She's been starting since she's a freshman, and that's when they feel like they've been there.
Well, Jim's been around forever too, to be fair. So,
and I'm not a fifth-year senior. I'm a super senior.
Yeah, 27th year senior.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah,
no, but when you have a leader like that, that's the first in the gym. She doesn't talk about that. The last one out, getting shots up all the time. She doesn't make that many threes and shoot that high a free throw percentage if she doesn't work on her game relentlessly. So when your best player is also one of your hardest workers, and then, her sister's coming in this year, and she's a special freshman too, Braylon. So we've got, we were 18-5 last year. Might have exceeded my expectations a little bit. I'll be honest. 4 points away from a state tournament, which we thought was in our grasp at the end of the season. Lost that 8-9 seed game. So we return all but 2. We had a tough injury over the offseason with Braylon Clark, but she's still been at everything. You know, she's still been leading our team. And you know, that's a true testament to who she is and her character. You know, she's going on to play Division I soccer, but she's still, you know, there with our girls and leading our young girls. And so it just has the makeup of being a really special team because of the talent with the work ethic. And just really excited to take the floor with them next week.
So speaking of Jeff Linder real quick, I also noticed his rankings, and he had you guys preseason number 2 in Class 4A. So
yeah, I told the girls that yesterday. You know, last year we might have sneaked up on a few teams early. There's none of that this year. That X marks the spot on the back, and there's a target there. I mean, I don't know what the girls union will rank us, because that's the one that truly matters. But Jeff over at the Gazette does an awesome job of studying the game and goes to a game almost every night. So he knows what he's talking about. I'd definitely have us in the top 5 if I were, to do a coach's poll. 2 might be a little high to start, but I wouldn't doubt it if my team and this group of girls were to prove that they could be good.
Oh, Jamie.
Yeah,
Smith.
I know Jamie well too. State champion coach himself, and
that's right.
Yeah.
Another question here for you, just because I want to, I like to pick your brain here on things, and even talk to my coaches about some of the things you say. What's your progression of goals? Like when you start the season off, it's we want to do this, then we want to do this, and your ultimate goal has always got to be making the state tournament, right? So what do you start off with your goals after, your starting goals to get to that point?
Yeah. And that's why I host a team dinner at my house, 3 to 4 days before the season starts. It's a goal setting night. It's a time where I have the girls bring their, 3 individual goals and 3 team goals, and I share mine. I want to be a better coach for them each and every day. I want to continue to learn and communicate with my assistant coaches. I have the best assistant coaches in the state. And
are you sure?
One of them, maybe not.
We give them a hard time, but they're just everything that might be my weaknesses. They pick up, and with being their strengths. And so
shout out to Rob and Tony and Taylor
and Bert now.
And
Taylor,
Bert, that's right.
Yeah.
Taylor too.
What's that?
Taylor brings some input. Good job, Taylor.
Yeah, they all do just a tremendous job, and I would not be near the coach without each and every one of them and their daily input and the tireless hours that they put into us being our best. I might get the credit for it, but I don't like all of that. I want them to know that I care about them and know they give it everything they have each and every day.
They also give it to us every night and day when we're there, whether you hear it or not. So, no, we appreciate them. They're good people too. So,
yep, for sure.
All right. Anything else for Joe tonight, guys?
No, I appreciate having you on, Joe.
Yes, absolutely.
I enjoyed it, and the audio was much better, I think. The equipment worked.
Right. Well, hopefully, maybe we can do the state tournament together again, and hopefully you guys are playing. So good luck this season, and we will definitely be seeing you 2 or 3 times this year. So
looking forward to it, guys. Thanks a lot for having me on, and keep doing what you're doing, because you're doing a lot for this game.
Thanks, Joe.
Awesome.
Good luck
Same to
this
you,
season.
Joe. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it. Enjoy the day.
Oh, love it.
That's good stuff.
Love it.
It'd be fantastic if teams, schools tried to model kind of the type of coach he is. I mean,
and he's not successful just because of where he's been. Valley, Norwalk. I mean, he took over a program at Norwalk that wasn't great. He's successful because he works hard at it. I hate to give him too much credit, but and he does have good assistant coaches. And I'll tell you, it is much easier to coach a team when you've got good assistant coaches that you can just trust to say, hey, I want you to do this with them today, or I want you to work with this group today, and the job's going to get done. And so he's very good at what he does, and he's very passionate about it. We all can see that
for sure.
Yep.
Well, and Joe's the type of coach too that if he comes to you with something, there's probably a reason why.
Yeah.
He's not just going to complain to complain.
Right.
He's looking for an explanation, because he saw something, and
he has a question, which is nice instead of most times. Now, he might have a comment every now and then, but most of the time it's a question, why was this? Why was that? And that's what we would rather have as a official, is a question. And let us answer that, because when you're giving us a comment, you're telling us that we were wrong right before it even started. So yeah, that's there are a lot of coaches out there that do a good job of asking questions and to get a response to correct whatever maybe they think that's that they're not sure what's going wrong, and they're going to try to correct it.
Yep. And that's something you can improve on. I'm gonna pick on Jamie because he's been listening and commenting all night. But Sam and I both knew Jamie when he was teaching and coaching around the Winterset area, and he used to say a lot. And now I think he's a really good coach where he asks the questions, right? And again, if it's a question, there's probably something to it, right? At this point. So happy that coaches can grow and learn from these types of things. So
yeah,
Jamie,
also a very, very passionate guy.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yep.
And a state champ.
Yeah.
So,
awesome.
Good stuff. Well, man, the season starts next week, guys.
Wow.
Man, I got to see you next week, Jim.
Yeah. Live and in person.
Sweet.
Yeah. Good stuff. So here we are, the part of the show where we're back to talking about our upcoming schedule. So Tuesday night, we're at Van Meter, and actually they're playing Norwalk. Girls only, just having a scrimmage, JV varsity girls scrimmage. And we're actually going to bring Brent Behrens along just to kind of work together, kind of get the kinks out and get her legs stretched and get going. So that'll be fun. Two pretty solid teams there. And then next Friday, the 22nd, Jim,
we're going to be at Melcher, Dallas for the Achieve scrimmage, which is, the state allows you to do the Achieve scrimmage, and you get to play it like a regular game. Most scrimmages that you play, you're not to keep score or anything like that, but this is played like a regular game. And basically you have to do a service project for this. And what we plan to do, we thought it would be the easiest the gate that we make that night is going to go directly to our local food pantry. So whatever money we make, I hope we do really well on that and help our community out, during these, the holiday season coming up with Thanksgiving and Christmas coming around the corner. So
awesome.
Good stuff. And then Monday, the 25th, I believe we're at Central Decatur, and that's a boys jamboree that we pretty much have done for the last, feels like 10 years, but
yeah.
We'll get a half of basketball, I think 3 different halves with 6 teams, including Central Decatur, usually I-35, Mount Air. I'm not sure the other teams. Lamoni.
Clark didn't come back last year, did they? Or
I don't remember. Mormon Trail?
Lamoni, Mormon Trail, Mount Air.
I had to miss that one last year, guys.
Oh, why was that?
I forget.
Why was that?
I forget.
Yeah. somebody decided to get some family things going on. Oh, like a day before the season.
Well, oh yeah, we didn't know. I didn't know basketball season was getting ready to start. Could have done this in the summer.
I skipped it once.
We love you, Sam.
Yeah.
And then we're into Thanksgiving already. I was thinking we'll probably be back to every 2 weeks, but that would be the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So I'm going to say we'll go 3 weeks and be back the 4th, I think. So
Awesome.
That Tuesday, the 3rd, we're actually at Fort Dodge. That's the first time I've been to Fort Dodge High. So against Boone.
Remember last time in Fort Dodge? Quick Star?
We'll tell that story when we return from Fort Dodge.
Still, the biggest Fort Dodge story is got to be we were at Fort Dodge St. Ed's.
The snow with Rich.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, Rich.
yeah.
I hate to bring it up again, but
So
I will never forget
We were
that night.
at St. Ed's last time.
Yeah, it
too.
was.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is Fort Dodge High, so
Awesome.
Okay.
we'll revisit both of those stories when we come back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So one other thing I kind of want to talk about here real quick before we go. Three Beards Media has a fundraiser going on right now. Let me add this up here. Oak Park Elementary School in Des Moines is collecting donations of essential hygiene items to support kids and families in need. They're hoping, that we can spread some kindness and meet some everyday needs for some of these Oak Park community members. So just wanted to share that out on our Facebook on Three Beards Media. You can find that if you want to donate. There's 3 different methods there that you can choose to do that. And, Three Beards is great about doing fundraisers as well and helping people in need. So we're
your
happy
part and help out if you can.
Yes,
yep, especially with the holidays coming up. So
Yep.
All right. I had one other thing I wanted to bring up, and I kind of mentioned this, I think, but maybe for our next episode or maybe an episode down the road, how do you feel about having a senior parent and a fan member that can sometimes be boisterous on to ask us the questions that he's always wanted to ask an official?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Kind of like a roast.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good give and take where we're going to give it right back because we're not on the floor, and we can toss him if we want.
We can have a technical. Would you toss me if?
I'm certain that will come up.
And we know this person. Is that?
Sam would. I don't know if you would, Jim.
Okay.
But,
You already have someone in mind. Okay.
Yeah, he actually brought it to my attention today. So.
Oh,
nice. Okay. Yeah, that sounds great, I think.
Yeah, I think that could be a lot of fun. And honestly, that's one where we need to kind of get it out on Facebook maybe early where we can ask for input during the show, kind of like tonight where we have comments and maybe questions like, this is your opportunity to ask us the things you've always wanted to ask. So anyway, I think that'd be fantastic.
I think it'd be great.
It would.
Okay. All right. Anything else for tonight?
I'm good.
Let's go. Let's go. Getting ready for it.
'Tis the season.
'Tis the season. We're right back in it next week. Thanks, everybody, for listening, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
See you guys.